It's the Fellowship of the Geek Show, a weekly podcast about comics, the comic book industry, and other geek pop culture. Music courtesy of Manny the Martyr. And now, on with the show!
Hey there, everybody. It's the Fellowship of the Geeks podcast. My name's Thomas Chick, and joining me for this episode is Mike Marlowe.
Hey, gang.
Les Webster.
Hello, all.
And Liz Newman.
Hello, everybody.
How are you guys doing?
Damn good.
Yeah.
Itchy.
Itchy and Kenny and all of them, yes.
Well, yeah, the trip we took.
Yeah,
There were
all that.
There were a lot of mosquitoes.
Oh, I wonder why. I can't imagine.
Uh-huh. A lot of mosquitoes.
And now we've got that threat going on, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I hope everybody out there is doing okay. So what's been going on in your corner of the galaxy?
Too much.
Well,
I'm ready to stop my planet and get off.
Then only tell us the juicy bits.
Oh, man. Well, damn. I mean, I guess I'm still dealing with effects from the tornadoes. So that's kind of put a big damper on the Newman house over here. But I have been watching a lot of like marathons. I hate being a completist. I absolutely hate being a completist.
But you can't control it.
I can't, you know.
But
I was flipping through and they had the first Lord of the Rings on. So I'm sitting there watching it and they get almost to the end. And I Phil came in at one point and it was like, oh yeah, it's, Christopher Lee really hated the ending of this because this isn't the extended cut. So of course I had to stop. Like I said, at that point, there's, when the trees and stuff are fighting, there's maybe 10 minutes left of this movie. No. I go over to HBO, they have all the extended cuts and have to start it all over again. So I did spend one day.
what?
Yes. I did.
Started all over?
All over. Went
You-
through all three of them and then even got The Hobbit and The Last... Last Guy. That one. I watched that one too. So next day, flipping through channels and they had Superman on. And I thought, well, wow, it's been a while since I've watched Superman. And it's not the Snyder Superman. So it was like, okay. So I watched the first one. And of course, Phil, I'm going to blame it on him. He was like, didn't Richard Pryor do one? And it was like, yeah, but that wasn't like the third or fourth one, which of course it was like, hey, I haven't seen that one in a while either. So I go back over to HBO. They have all of those there. Watched all of those.
You had to watch those?
I had to watch them, once it gets in your brain. Well, then, was it today? No, it was yesterday. I had forgotten. I guess my brain totally wanted to block it out, but I had forgotten that Brandon Routh had played Superman. And I'm finding this movie has two titles. I don't know if they changed it or if there's two of them. I could only find one, HBO, when they were playing it, it was called something about the Return to Peace or something like that. But when you search the movie, it's like Superman Returns or something.
No,
So it's
Superman
kind of-
Returns is it was
Just the one with Ralph.
with Ralph. Yeah.
Superman 4, The Quest for Peace, was not Brandon Routh.
It was
That was
Okay.
That
Chris
was
Reeve's
the last
one.
Christopher Reeve. Yeah.
okay. Maybe I'm mixing my titles because I watched them all.
So ultimately, the problem here is it's not you and your brain. It's HBO
It's HBO.
because they have all of these things and they're making you watch them.
Yeah,
That's
It-
bullshit.
I completely blame them.
Yep, totally.
But right now they also have the new Godzilla. I not -1. This was the
Year zero?
no. This is the new Empire, which follows
the Kong one.
uh-huh.
Godzilla vs. Kong.
It's yeah. So it's the second one in that series, but I think it was split in between with -1, and which didn't go with the other two. So this is the second movie of the sequel, or yeah, I don't know if they're doing a trilogy or not. But anyways, I did watch it. I didn't like it as much as I liked the first one, but this one they kind of changed the tone to it. It basically is about King Kong and Godzilla. So they've given them more, I don't know how to describe
Lines?
this.
Dialogue.
Kind of. Actually, they did in a way. I mean, they don't speak or anything else, but with their like facial expression, they're more expressive. You can kind of tell what they're thinking, or like at one point, King Kong was kind of like, "What the fuck," and he didn't have to say it. It was just his expression and body movements and stuff kind of conveyed the story. And I kind of liked it. Sometimes when they do things like that, it can read really corny, but I think this was handled, especially since you have two of the smartest species, but it was handled in such a way that it didn't come off that way, like it could be natural, It did have like a mini Kong in it, and he was so cute. Oh, he was so cute. But when they get to the surface,
Was his name Donkey?
right?
Hopefully it was Kiko.
I think that in the captioning
Mighty
it was
Joe.
just Mini Kong. You had Big Kong and Mini Kong. But I didn't realize how big he was until they went to the surface of Earth. When you see him up against a building, it's like, wow, that's a big ass monkey. So, but he was cute.
That was his name. Big ass monkey.
Big
Big
ass
ass monkey. What I did enjoy is when they were speaking about some of the other Titans. Because premise of this one was Godzilla has awoken again, and he was like on the move, so they were trying to figure out what the hell is going on, because normally he only moves when there's danger present for them. Because this is after they figured out he's protecting them, Well, he starts going after the other Titans to like consume their power. And it was kind of neat because before they would, when they saw where he was headed, they would pull that Titan up, like the scientists and stuff. And you kind of got like a background of that Titan, if you'd never watched any of the Godzilla movies before, it was kind of like a short bio to where you'd know who it was. So I thought that was kind of neat because it's kind of like anyone could step in and watch this movie. You don't have to know who the other Titans are or anything. They kind of explain that to you. It did have Mothra in it. She makes like a very big part of this movie, which I thought was kind of cool. I understand that she's like the queen of all Titans, but for some reason she's closer to Godzilla, which I don't quite understand why. But previously I had thought that was his mom, but I think she's just kind of like the mother of all Titans, not she birthed each one of them or anything, but kind of like a segregate mom, going to take care of all these Titans.
More of
kind
a
of thing.
ceremonial title.
Right. But this kind of made it clear that she was a little bit more leaned towards Godzilla than the others. So, but I thought they did it once again. Whoever's in charge of making the Titans did an amazing job. She was absolutely beautiful. All the Titans really were. There was one in the water. I forgot what his name was. But he had nuclear power like Godzilla does, and he went and killed it for its power. But once again, really well done. Didn't look cartoonish or, animated or anything. CGI. It was pretty good. So yeah, whoever's doing these, like I said, amazing job on the Titans. I think they've done a really good job about putting Kong and Godzilla together, because even when they brought them together again, Godzilla's still like the asshole. I'm the top dog. You're not going to win this one. So they did kind of have their moment. And of course, Kong was kind of like, hey, didn't say it, but pretty much, hey, there's a bigger threat here and we need to work together. If not, it's going to kick our ass kind of thing. And they kind of explained more about the world he comes from. I forget the name of it. Anyways, they kind of go into detail of it and how it works, and the things that happen to make it work that way. So, like I said, it was pretty interesting. I think they broke down some of the lore that's been forgotten, or that's kind of been spoken about but not really shown us. It was just kind of in passing. Oh, by the way, he's from here, but it never explained what power he had there, or where these Titans get their powers from, or why do they have these powers. And so this movie kind of taps into that and gives you a glimpse of the beginning of the Titans, So I would definitely say if you're a Godzilla fan, you have to see it. If you're a Kong fan, definitely. This was his movie. I know they marketed it as a Godzilla, but this was a Kong movie. Because of course Kong was supposed to be the last of his kind, and I've already spoiled it that there's a mini Kong. There's he came from somewhere, and Kong gets to see that and kind of comes to the opinion that everybody else does. People are assholes. This is a reason I like people. Even in the ape world, So, but yeah, out of everything I watched, I would definitely say I did enjoy that one. I've caught it a few times now that it's been on TV. Some of the fight scenes were really great. Some of the special effects that they used, like going into this world and stuff, was pretty trippy. I enjoyed that too. So if you're a fan of the Titans, it's a must see. I would definitely say to watch the first one first. You don't have to, but there are a couple of people who reoccur in the second one, which you would have a better understanding of them, but they do kind of go into who they are. So if you don't want to watch the first one, you can still watch the second one, but I would still recommend watching the first one.
But if you want to watch the second one, why wouldn't you want to watch the first, right?
Right, yeah.
Well, what if I want to watch the first one second?
You could do that too.
Okay. All right.
Just watch them in reverse.
And you're talking about Godzilla moving. Well, the reason why was Mrs. Godzilla kicked him out, never to return, so he moved in with King Kong.
Ah. Yeah, kind of like that. Yeah.
That may be the reason that.
That I have a headache now.
Well, that too. No, I was thinking why Mothra was so close to Godzilla.
Mm-hmm.
They used to room together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Maybe they were lovers.
They were just college roommates. There was nothing going on.
And that's where Maybe Godzilla came from.
It was just that one time.
We're going to make this awkward if we're not careful.
Going to?
I mean, I turned a monster film into The Odd Couple. So I mean, how can it get?
Right.
Come on.
And also flipping through channels, Seven Gully was on the other night, and I guess it's telling me I really need to watch this movie because he was doing the crab movie that Mikey talked about a couple of weeks ago. I've seen it like quite a few times now, and it's like, okay, I just need to sit down and watch this damn movie because it keeps popping up. So that's on my list for this weekend. That and to finish The Boys. That one's been a slow burn, though. I'm going to make it through this season because next season is the last season, and it's going to have Jensen and Jared together on there. So I have to, I have to get through this to get to that. But I don't know. As a fan, I have to say he really dropped the ball on this season. I am not enjoying this season at all. I don't care what the comic books were or what they talked about or everything else. As a centrist, this season has very been politically driven, and it's just not fun, especially with the environment that we're living in right now. I don't think it was a good idea. I think it just threw gasoline on a fire that's been burning for a few years now, and it's poking fun at people that, whether you like it or not, we're neighbors, so it's been a very hard season to get through. And that's speaking as someone who doesn't like either side. So, I'm independent. So I just think they took some very low blows that didn't need to be taken for the sake of to take it, to piss people off. And I think even in an interview, he said that's why he did it. And I think I've said this about Kirkman too. I absolutely don't understand people who want to piss their fans off. To me, why are you going to shit on your fans? Why is that funny to you? Why is that, another credit? I pissed my fans off. Why do you want to do that? Why? I mean, it makes no sense. These are the people who watch your shit so you can collect a paycheck, dude. Why do you want to piss those people off? And he did. He went for the core of his fans, and it was ugly. So, trying to get through it. I'm sure I will make it through it, but it's been, like I said, a lot of cheesy lines that you hear in the media, in the news today are being thrown around, and it's like, it's just yuck. Yuck. So, I heard that the last season, I'm like 2 episodes behind. They've played the finale, but the finale was delayed a few hours because Amazon had to put a disclaimer out in front of it because the name of the title was supposed to be something like Assassination Election or something like that. And they're like, maybe we shouldn't say that right now. Well, no shit. You shouldn't. You should have never even thought of that because people are stupid and they take any kind of hints that you can give them. And even if someone hadn't tried to kill former president 2 days before this came out, it still wasn't a good idea before that, So, yeah, I can't wait for November to be over. Go back to some of the normal, I say that, I don't know. But like I said, I guess I'm different because I like watching TV shows and movies to be entertained. If I want politics and morals shoved down my throat, I will watch the news or something, but I don't want that shoved down my throat when I'm trying to be entertained. I'm being entertained because I'm tired of all the other BS that we see every day. Why does that have to be in my TV show too? So, yeah. So hopefully
I could actually give you sort of an answer for that. Because a large number of people find that entertaining. Otherwise, it wouldn't be a thing.
Yeah.
They wouldn't do it if it didn't sell.
Yeah.
If it didn't generate ratings.
But to me, it splits your fan base.
Absolutely. Especially today.
Yep.
Because we've friggin' polarized ourselves so badly at this point. It's unbelievable. But
yeah.
So you're going to make one person happy, you have to piss one person off.
Yeah.
And that's sad, but that's what humans want to do right now. So, what are you going to do?
Yeah. And see, to me, this whole season has been about an election. They didn't have to do that. There was so much other stuff going on. We just got introduced to Gen V, and we just learned that these kids were injected with this stuff. So it's kind of like we had a good storyline going. We didn't need to throw the politics and the election into it. You could have continued with the virus and the Gen V and these kids being pissed off that they had no choice, But no, they completely changed gears and went into this. And it's like, it's crap, Anything you can think of that creates such a buzz right now has been in this season. We're talking, election frauds, abortions, assassinations, people attacking people out on the streets for their political parties. Everything that we're seeing right now has been in this season. And it's like, why? Why? I don't, it's not entertaining to me. It's sad. And just one more way we're dividing ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
So
You're not wrong there.
I'm hoping, like I said, the 5th season, we kind of get back to the story he was giving us, because I'm really curious about this virus, and what it's going to do. Some of these people are natural superheroes. So will this infect them too? Or is it just the people who got the Gen V? There's a lot of questions they've left totally unanswered this season. So I feel like this was just a, haha, look what I can do. I can piss people off, and it's cool because Orange Man bad, And it's, to me, that's just not funny anymore. It's just not, And I don't like the Orange Man either. So it's just not funny, So, yeah. Like I said, it's been one of those that B's like, hey, let's watch it. And it's like, I don't know. Lord of the Rings is on. And I'm about to actually, also this weekend, I'm about to start Rings of Power over. So I heard they're making a lot of changes on that too. So I kind of want to remember where it was at before we start up with the new season, which I think is starting like in a couple of weeks. So
Cool.
I think it's like August 4th.
That's pretty soon.
Yeah.
How soon is it?
And one other thing, did you guys see the new trailer for the Joker that dropped today?
Yeah.
No. I haven't watched it. I saw that it exists.
Yeah.
But I haven't watched it.
I don't know when they're just going to come out and tell us, hey, this is a musical. They've been hiding it.
They've been saying it's a musical.
But none of their trailers would tell you that, I'm hoping it's not. I don't like musicals. I don't. I'm so burnt. I like singing, and I like movies, but I don't like singing movies. I think, a couple of songs would have been fine. You can't get Lady Gaga to star in something and not have her sing. That's her thing. But I didn't want a musical. I really didn't want a musical. But the more I see of this story, it's kind of like, I don't know if I can watch it without making my brain explode, because just in the trailers, you can see all the canon that's just been shoved in the trash. So I'm going to try, but
I thought the whole first movie shoved the canon in the trash.
it did. It did.
But you liked that.
But
But
this is
an Elseworld.
Elseworlds. Essentially,
Yeah.
I mean, without them saying it's Elseworlds, it's not going to be anything, especially related what James Gunn starting up here next year.
Yeah.
So.
And he's made that very clear. This is not canon. This is not in the DCU universe. We're just going to let him continue to tell his story, though. And I did like the first one, because I think there was a lot of social things in there that needed to have a light shined on it, and it did. So I kind of liked that part of it. I did. I think we need to acknowledge that mental health issues exist, that it's always when people blow up that we're like, oh, we should do something about that. Well, yeah, maybe you should have did that before he slaughtered an audience, But not only that, it also kind of showed you the other side of it. Joker knew he was crazy. He knew he needed medicine, but just the hurdles you have to jump through to get the help to talk to somebody, to get the help to get the prescriptions. I mean, so there were so many other things going on than a Joker story that I enjoyed. And some of the things that they verted off from, like the whole Thomas Wayne thing, that kind of was meh, But Harley's my girl. She's like, since she first entered the TV screen, I have been a fan of Harley. So I think this one's going to be a little harder to swallow that Elseworld pill,
Well, and another thing about that first film was how he was treated by other people.
Yep.
So there was that too. Because
Well, I mean, he carried a card around that told people that he couldn't control his laughter. And I kind of liked the way they played that he couldn't, when he got stressed, he would laugh. And I mean, I have so been there. There are times people are crying around me and I can't help it, and I just start like laughing. And it's not that I find him funny or I even want to be laughing at this point.
There is a, I don't know, I don't remember what it's called, but there is a thing like that. It just, because I've seen commercials about.
Yeah, it's kind of like a
to take care of it.
stress reliever,
Yeah.
So I kind of, but he has to carry a card around to tell people, because it pissed people off. Are you laughing at me? Am I some kind of clown? Do you find me funny? So that was kind of cool too. That
See,
they
you're
kind
describing
of
it and you have to joke about it. I mean, come on.
Right. But on this one, it looks like, I think they kind of confirmed in this one that Harley is a mental patient. I mean, she was batshit crazy, don't get me wrong, but she was not.
Batshit crazy?
But she wasn't a patient. She was a doctor. So there's that.
Right, so you're starting off in the hole on this one already.
Right, yeah.
This is kind of the deal with you and Harley stuff, is you kind of already have Harley in your head, and the Harley in your head is very rarely the Harley you see on the screen anymore. Mm-hmm. And this seems to annoy you, and you seem to forget it every time, and you get all excited about new Harley. And New
Yeah.
Harley always disappoints you.
Well, because I'm hoping that one time somebody will be a fan like I was and be like, hey, you know. That movie I went to with you, Les, what was that? Was that Mad Love that they did?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one wasn't bad. It was kind of closer to canon and everything else too. I enjoyed that one. I do think that they messed up. What was it, Batwoman in that? She made her have a relationship with Robin, which was kind of okay. So, but other than that, I thought that, but that was also animated. I think animated usually does hit it closer than the movies and stuff do. But I'm hoping this one, with no matter how bad they tell her story, will move us away from the Margot Robbie Harley, and everybody will realize she is not Harley. She played a better Barbie.
Why is she not Harley, though?
I have never cared for her as Harley. I think it was the first time they introduced her, and like halfway through the movie, she dropped her accent, and it was kind of a, huh. Does Harley lose her accent often? Is that a side effect from the Joker gas? So there's just little things that she's done like that that's just been like, ah. And it also was kind of, I thought, very uppity and pretentious that when Kelly Cuoco was doing the animated Harley, that Margot Robbie had to go and read the scripts to make sure they weren't going to mess Harley up. And it's like, bitch, you have screwed Harley up, and you're worried about what she's going to do to her? Really? To me, she had no business in it. You go do your movies and you let Kelly do her thing, because neither one of them are ever going to touch each other, you know. But she was so worried about what it would do to the movies. Well, you're just an actor, honey. You didn't invent this character. You are not this character. People can play it, you know. So that kind of got to me too, you know. I didn't see Christopher Reeves demanding to see everybody's script before they played Superman, you know. So I don't know. Plus, I like Kelly a whole lot better than I did Margot. But for her, I think she probably gets it harder from me, because it seems like once she played Harley in the movies, they started changing the comics over to the movie version. And it was like, yuck. Yuck. Why do all the bimbos have to be blondes, you know? So, yeah. So I think it could have been anybody, but it was her. So. But I did watch part of Barbie, and she did play a better Barbie than she did Harley. And I'm not saying that to put her down or anything, but she nailed that part, you know. But yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping
with
the
Harley,
next
she
Harley.
uses real nails, but anyway.
But yeah, I'm hoping the next movie we see Harley, and they'll kind of get away from the Margot thing. Which was why I was excited about Lady Gaga. She has the accent. She doesn't have to fake it, you know. And she is kind of freaking crazy. So that kind of played in her favor, too. And if they were going to sing, they couldn't have picked a better person. So, especially with Joaquin Phoenix. He's a pretty good singer, too. I just don't want to watch 2.5 hours of it.
Right.
Yep.
See, I'm with you. I'm not a musical fan either, so.
Yeah. Even if it's well done, it's like, ah.
And I'm starting to wonder if what happened was they touted it as a musical, and because they got Lady Gaga and they were like, oh yeah, it's gonna be great, and then as they were working on the script, they were like, this is a really bad idea.
Yeah.
and so they're backing off on it. I don't know.
But they have
I know
definitely
nothing.
played
So.
it down in the trailers.
Right.
I think we see them sing maybe once, So I'm hoping it's kind of a scattered thing and not like a Great Showman kind of thing.
Right.
Or Cats. God, let's not make a Cats.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we shall see. I think they said it's October 4th on that one. So, not too much longer for that one.
Mm.
And then Thomas had posted in our group about the, if you watch it while the closed captioning is on, that you see some other people in Batman's Rogue Gallery. I won't spoil it in case people don't want to know yet, but that should be interesting. So I'm curious now on, I don't want to say his name, but I'm curious if it's going to be the good one or the bad one.
Glinda?
Yeah. If he's,
Glinda, yep.
How to get an Ed Wood reference in. Wouldn't be any fun otherwise.
So we shall see.
Cool.
Alrighty, Mikey.
Well, I think it would be very, very generous of people if they had very low expectations on me topping that, but I'm going to try. So I mentioned this briefly recently. I don't remember when exactly. It wasn't that long ago. Because I think I mentioned it in an effort to shut Liz down on something. I don't remember what it was. But so the deal is,
that's happened so many times I can't even know which one it was.
Yeah, I know. Can I narrow it down a little, please? So I have this book that I got. It was actually an Indiegogo campaign, but it was compiled and written by one of the hosts of a podcast I listen to. It's a movie podcast. And just to not even hold back any longer, the title of this book is The Sweetest Taboo, an unapologetic guide to child kills in film.
To what now?
Child kills in film. This is
Okay.
a very good
Killer?
sized.
Like you kill a kid or a kid
Like
kills someone?
Kids being. I think it goes both ways.
Okay.
I don't think Erica holds back in either direction on
Or
that
by
one.
kids.
Kids dying in the course of a story of a movie, whether it's on screen or not. This is a fairly large 300-page softcover book with some really nice artwork, honestly. And it is essentially a list of movies and very brief descriptions of those movies, explaining when and where a child dies in the movie. It is really surprising to me how many friggin' movies there are in this book. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff here.
See, when I think of a kid dying in a movie, the first movie that pops in my head is My Girl. That was probably the saddest death ever. And it being a child just made it so much worse.
My Girl is in the book.
Yep. I bet it was number 1 in the book.
No, I haven't even
Especially with, he
I'm
always
reading it.
needs his glasses so he can see, and it's like, ah. Yeah. Huh. I will have to look that book up because that does sound interesting.
I will see if I can get you a link. It is interesting. I have not read it all the way through yet. I am working on it. It is going to take a while because it's pretty thick. It's pretty dense.
Yeah.
I have not seen this. Okay, and I will be honest. the show that Erica is a host of is called Unsung Horrors, and it is a straight up hardcore movie podcast. And I cheat with that podcast because I have to, because I don't watch movies like these people do. It's insane. So I just got done listening to their Junesploitation episode of their podcast. Junesploitation is a thing that there's a group of folks that they do, and what they do is they have a list of categories, one for each day of the month of June. They all watch a movie every day that goes with these categories. The episode of the show, there are two hosts. There's Erica and Lance, and the episode where they talk about the movies they watched for Junesploitation is just under 3 hours long. This is not a normal episode for their show. Their normal episodes, they're every other week, and they're about an hour or so long. I mean, sometimes they'll run to like an hour and 20 when they're getting really into it, or when they have a guest.
Yeah.
But yeah, they talked about, between the two of them, they talked about like 75 movies in a 2 hour and 50-minute time frame.
Wow.
Which is a lot like how this book is laid out. So there's a warning for you. They also do one of these things in October, which they also do. They do kind of do their own, that they're kind of in collaboration with others. They do a charity thing with the one they do in October. I'm actually strangely talking more about the podcast than I am about this book, but that's cool too. It's a fun podcast, and the reason I say I cheat is because they do a lot of spoilers in their episodes for the movies they're watching, and so they very strongly recommend that people watch the movies first. I don't watch enough movies. I can't keep up with them.
Yeah.
So I'm cheating by using their podcast to learn about movies that I'm not likely to watch.
Huh.
And one of the deals with their podcast is that they're actually talking about movies that are chronically underseen. They are movies that are difficult to find in a lot of cases, or that are hidden on box sets that are tricky to find, or something. So some of them have releases, but some of them haven't. And so they're going off of letterbox lists and looking at movies specifically that don't have very many views. Because they've watched all the ones that have a ton of views, primarily, or at least that's the impression I get. They have a Discord, and I am completely and totally intimidated by it. I don't know anything compared to the people in that Discord who watch multiple movies a week, every week, all the time. It's wild.
Yeah. Huh.
But yeah,
You have
an
to give me
entire
the
book. I will see if I can scrounge up a
link
link. I
to
think
that
she said
too,
last
yeah.
time she said anything about the book, she said she still had copies available.
Cool.
So I will have to. I'll see if I can find it.
Okay, Les, you have anything this week?
Couple things.
Okay.
Looking at what Mike was talking about, one, I've got to know where the bad seed was positioned. And two, I want this information for the channel because I'm in. I gotta start watching this stuff.
Okay.
On the other front, I have been watching some stuff on YouTube, and it's interesting what you can find on YouTube, although it is a rabbit hole.
Yep. Time suck.
But to me, it's so interesting what you can find. I think I've posted a couple of songs for remakes of We Didn't Start the Fire by Billy Joel. And I thought those were interesting because one was an updated version and one was a parody. I found another one today of We Didn't Start the Fire concerning Star Wars. And I thought, no, that's pretty clever. But other than that, I've been pretty docile, pretty quiet. Didn't have an uproarious week. So that's about it for me.
Okay.
On the Bad Seed,
Yeah.
she lists several versions, including a
Really?
Turkish version and a Japanese version.
But Patty McCormick's version's not listed?
Yes, no, it's there. The
Oh.
56, yeah, that's 56.
Yeah.
There was a Turkish version in 63. There's a Japanese version in 82. There's another made-for-TV version in 84, and then Rob Lowe did one in 2018. Whether they are all called the same thing or not, I cannot promise, but
Yeah.
there you go.
Well, that's cool.
That is pretty cool.
She's very thorough.
Sounds like it.
Now there you go, Liz. That's a movie to watch. If you want something that'll scare the crap out of you, that's
What is
it.
Bad Seed?
The Bad Seed with Patty McCormick, who went on to be the lead on a spin-off of Three's Company.
Huh.
She played, I think she played the neighbor on The Ropers.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Now, is this? I think I may have seen this one. Is it like based on the play Arsenic and Lace?
No,
No? Okay.
nothing like Arsenic and Old Lace.
Okay.
That's one of my favorite movies.
I love that one. Yeah.
That's my favorite Halloween movie.
When I was in theater, I would always pick to read from that one because I loved that one.
That's the one with Cary Grant and right?
Yes.
Okay. With
Massey, Raymond Massey,
right, yeah.
and Peter Lorre.
God, I hadn't watched that in forever.
Mm-hmm.
I need to make a note of that.
And if you find where I can watch it, let me know.
I will
Please.
definitely do that. Yeah. I will. Well, for me, I've been spending a lot of time on YouTube. Mystery Science Theater 3000 has like several channels, and they have like 3 or 4, and they've got stuff going on all the time. Well, I guess this is going one of the channels, and I guess this is going to go for an entire month because it's been going on for a couple weeks that I'm aware of. They're celebrating the 95th birthday of Sandy Frank by doing a marathon of the Gamera films, Fugitive Alien 1 and 2, Time of the Apes, and Mighty Jack. So I've been spending time watching those. And Time of the Apes has kind of a special. I have a special attachment to that because that was one of the probably first half dozen or so shows I ever saw. So I remember the heck out of that one. So that's been fun to do that.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, just go to their YouTube page and go to the live, and you'll see it. But yeah, there's sort of like 3 or 4 of the Gamera films that they did back when Joel was on the show, And then, like I said, they did Future of the Alien 1 and 2, and then Town of the Apes, and then Mighty Jack, which I cannot sit through Mighty Jack. I have a problem with that one. I don't know why, but anyway. But it's been fun. It's been fun watching all of those. I actually came across a channel. I guess I saw something about it late last night or early this morning, and I started following them. It's they call themselves Final Girls, and it's girls with ending with the Z and not the S. And it's a group of 6 women. Usually there's 4 of them, so there's kind of like a rotation. And they're watching and reacting to horror films. They say they're not horror fans, but they're doing this where they watch these horror films due to suggestions of subscribers and stuff like that. And it's been kind of fun because ones I watched today was Alien and Aliens, and that was kind of fun, especially since they had never seen these films before, so I knew what was coming and kind of prepared for their reactions on it. That's been kind of a treat. But the ones I really want to watch next is they've done the Blumhouse trilogy of Halloween. They've done the Evil Dead films, and they've done the Scream films. I don't know if I want to do Scream because, boy, I've soured on those films. The original still kind of holds up, but going back and watching some of the ones after that, I just have problems with them. So anyway, but it's kind of fun watching them watching the movies. I've kind of become come attached to watching a lot of the reaction videos, and it's kind of helped me, especially the last couple weeks. I threatened about this a couple weeks ago that I was going to bring up Star Wars: The Acolyte. As of this recording, the season has wrapped up. It's been wrapped up for about a week. I'm still trying, and some people may have problems with me saying this. It's like I'm still kind of processing things because I'm like, I know I was pretty big on it when the first couple episodes. I was like, this could be really, really good. I came back to earth a little bit. The writing's a little inconsistent in issues with some of the characters where they do, when you have a Jedi in one episode who's able to sense a person pretty close, and then 2 episodes later they get blindsided by the same damn person. Like, how come you couldn't freaking sense him then? That type of shit. I still like the show. I think there were some really interesting ideas. I would love to debate some people regarding the canon busting that the show's being accused of doing. There's one that's kind of there's one aspect that's kind of up in the air. One, the show actually dealt with in a way, and some of the other stuff, I don't know. Like I said, the writing's kind of inconsistent. The acting's really good. In particular, the one person I definitely want to mention. Actually, there's 2 of them. One of them's Manny Jacinto, who was actually in the show The Good Place, I believe was the other show he was in. But Lee Jung-jae, who plays Master Soul, man, He did such a great job, and you know, doing some, finding out that he learned English just to do this role. I'm like, wow. And he did a great job. I thought he was really good. There's some really good acting. There's some that's not as good, but you know, hey, that's with everything. The fighting in this is phenomenal. It's probably some of the most incredible lightsaber choreography ever. And then there's actually some melee fighting and hand-on-hand combat that's just as incredible. So if you have no intention of watching the shows, go to YouTube and search for the fight sequences and be prepared to knock socks knocked off. Because I'm like, oh my god, it's so freaking incredible. I don't know if there's gonna be a second season. From what I've been hearing, this is probably the lowest viewed Star Wars show of them all. It actually surpassed Andor. And with a production of $180 million to do these 8 episodes, which the average runtime was about 37 minutes, I just don't see Disney greenlighting a second season.
Yeah.
But I could be wrong. And that was another thing. Like I said, the average runtime is 37 minutes as of the first 7 episodes. I don't know how long the 8th episode was. I have not seen the runtime on that. But it's just like, this could have been 2 films, and it would accomplish the same thing. I mean, I'm not going to spoil too much, but this takes place 100 years prior toward the events of Phantom Menace. And it's actually dealing with repercussions of an event that happened 16 years earlier that involved Jedi. And one of the things the writers, showrunner, and all this decided to do was not do 1, but do 2 episodes that were completely flashback. And I think that was a mistake. The 3rd episode was a flashback. And really, it did nothing except for just reinforce what was being told in the first 2 episodes. The second flashback happens in episode 7, and it reveals everything. It's like, okay, I see what they were trying to do. They were trying to say, okay, here's what happened from this point of view, and then here's what happened from this point of view. I see what they were trying to do. It just didn't work. It didn't work.
That's a bummer.
Yeah. Or at least in my opinion, it didn't work. But I thought there's some interesting things in there. I liked what they were trying to do. It was just an issue of execution. And that's kind of sad.
Yeah.
It's a shame.
Yeah. So, I mean, I would recommend seeing it. From what some people I've seen online say, it would be best to binge it. That apparently it works better if you binge it instead of doing the week to week that we just did.
Yeah.
And
I was waiting to do.
Yeah. It sounds like it works better if you binge it. So let me, if you actually do watch it, let me know if you do that.
Cool.
So, but this has been a very divisive show. I mean, there was a lot of hate from the get-go, and
a lot of people had a problem with the power of one.
Well, it just. But when I hear that the final episode had 65 negative reviews posted before the show even started, that we need to rethink things.
Yeah.
That's very questionable.
And we've talked about, or I've posted stuff on Discord about review bombing happening here and there. I know the Boys had it, the Marvels had it, and others. And it's like, I am really to the point that I still think Rotten Tomatoes has value, but I think they need to get rid of the whole everyday Joe can go in there and post review. I think that option needs to go away. It needs to be the professionals that post stuff. So here's a place where all the reviews are here, so you can read the good, bad, and indifferent, and not have this shit happen.
See, I'm more curious about what the average Joe has to say, because most of the time I don't agree with critics. They'll say something is so great, and then you go watch it and it's shit, and you're like, what the hell? And they're like, oh, well, this guy was doing it. Well, just because this guy did it and they did it here and under this studio didn't mean it was going to be great, Well,
I get
seems to
that,
be where the critics lean towards, Like Sundance films, I would never watch any of that shit. And everyone's like, oh, highly acclaimed. But the average Joe would tell me, don't go watch that shit.
Damn it, Liz. Rosebud was a sled. Get over it. That's just the way it is, all right?
So sometimes it's helpful,
Right.
And then also
the deal
these
is
critics...
it's two different flavors of bullshit is the problem.
It is.
I mean, just because everything is bullshit ultimately.
Well, and that's why Rotten Tomatoes will give you two different scores. One from their critics and one from the everyday, so you can kind of...
I get that, but the thing is that the fact that there's people who have a freaking agenda is like, well, we're just going to tear this up for whatever reason. We're going to destroy this.
Yeah, that's shit.
And that's what aggravates me, because I mean,
I don't think you should be able to review something that hasn't come out yet.
Well,
unless you had some kind of special screening or something of it, you should not be able to review something till it comes out.
I agree with that too, but that still doesn't stop. That still doesn't stop the bombings. It just stops.
It doesn't.
It just stops it from happening.
Right, it delays them a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a delay.
Well, anytime they talk about a new DC movie, it automatically gets review bombed. I won't say by what group, but it does. So I agree that kind of shit needs to stop. But there are some things out there that people need to say, hey, this is shit. You're passing it off as, golden, and it's not. It's a pile of crap that you spray painted for us.
And the other thing, and the other thing that's kind of upset me, because like I said, I do watch a lot of the reaction. There's 2-3 channels that I follow to do the reactions, and they're getting accused of being they're being called shills.
Yeah.
For Disney, because they said, hey, I like the show. And apparently you're not supposed to like the show. You're supposed to just say this is shit. It shouldn't exist and all that. It's like, no.
Yeah.
If I like it, I like it. And just because I like it doesn't mean that I'm bought and paid for by a corporation.
Right.
Which doesn't mean that we're not opposed to being bought and paid
I was
for by a
trying to say,
corporation.
wait a minute. I can get paid for talking nice about Disney? Hey!
I'm all over that.
I should be rich right now.
And the thing is these reviewers that are being called shills is like, you're not actually watching the videos, because they're say, hey, I like it. but I have issues. This happened, and that could have been written better, or that could have been acted better, or this could be a little bit more clear on what was going on, that kind of stuff. They have legitimate criticisms, so it's not like they're saying, "Oh, this is the best thing since sliced bread," but they're being called, they're sellouts.
Yeah.
And that's
how long have they been a Star Wars fan? Well, I think any stage you step in Star Wars, it's great to have you on our side. Welcome to the dark side. But that shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter if you've watched it from the very beginning when it first came out, or if you're just a new fan and just got into Star Wars. It shouldn't matter, because it's still your opinion on whether you liked it or not. Now, it is kind of hard to take some of these people seriously when one of them said that he was upset with Anakin for blowing up the Death Star and killing all those thousands of people. So it's kind of like, tell me you haven't seen Star Wars without saying you haven't seen Star Wars. So, I mean, it's whatever gets views, and that's what people are doing. They'll jump on a bandwagon, and see, for me, I found it very hard to say anything bad about the boys, because there are a group of people right now who lean a certain way that are not happy with it because they feel that it betrayed them as buffoons. And it's kind of like, well, as someone who doesn't lean that way, it played both sides as buffoons. It wasn't just your side, it was both sides. But it puts me in a category of you must be a leftist or you must be a rightist because you didn't like this. No, I just happened to enjoy movies and I found that it was shit, not because I lean away or I like guys or, it's none of that. It's because I like to be entertained and I know what entertains me, Mostly, yeah. I have been proven wrong. And I'll admit it, Mikey, you've been very good about pointing things out to me that I didn't like, that maybe I didn't see it from that way. And I'll go back and rewatch it and kind of open my mind a little bit. So I don't mind that, but you've never gone, you're stupid. You should,
I haven't?
You shouldn't have done it. Well, no.
You don't remember the time?
You've been nice. You're not very smart for not like that.
Oh, bless your heart.
Ooh, that was a slam.
Right. So it's hard to have an opinion sometimes.
Well, and it's real easy to be an asshole on the internet also.
It is.
Right.
Real easy.
When your face isn't attached to what you say.
Mm-hmm. When you have no skin in the game. You can just be as much of a dick as you want, and nobody can get to you.
Mm-mm.
Because you're hiding behind some weird nickname.
Yeah.
Some weird username.
Kitty Lover 25.
Right. Oh, let me tell you about Kitty Lover 25. I mean, geez.
She's a bitch.
Wow.
But yeah, it is easier to be an asshole when you don't have a name attached to it,
Mm-hmm.
Which for me, anything I have ever put out on the internet, I will definitely say it to your face, full chested. If I feel that strongly about something that I've posted it on the internet, I will definitely say it to your face. No hiding. But I also use my real name and a real profile picture too. So.
Oh, now she's taking shots at me. Okay, that's fine.
No,
right.
no, but no, I'm that person. But I don't share a lot on social media either.
And and it's just the picture. It's just that I don't take a lot of pictures, and so I used another one that I thought would be fun. The rest of it's real.
And actually, I think right now my Facebook profile is like when I was 4, so
there you go.
It's with my sisters, but it's still me,
Mm-hmm.
You can look through my profile, and I've had it there. So.
It's you, but history.
As opposed to her Discord avatar, which is Harley.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, on Discord. Yeah. Twitter's me. My actual face and everything. Which is announced in the show. So everything I say here, I'll say to your face. I may not remember saying it here.
Well, that's a different problem. We can't solve that problem tonight.
Right. Social media is wrote down, and I can see that.
So.
But yeah, I do agree. You shouldn't be able to review something before it comes out.
They do that with games too, you know.
Yeah, they do.
What's the difference there?
They do, but they have preview stuff for games.
I was just saying, sometimes you get the influencer who get the beta games,
right.
though.
That's on purpose.
You know. Yeah. But most of those who have like a bad opinion of the game that they're playing, since they do have a beta game, they'll show you actual gameplay of what they're talking about. I trust those people more than someone who read Game Reviewer and telling me it sucks. You know, show me the problem you had, you know. But yes, it's the same way. If you're not an influencer, you shouldn't be able to review a game that you haven't played, you know. Uh-oh.
Now, there have been movies that came out and a lot of people didn't like, and they hadn't seen the movie, had no intention of seeing the movie. What do you say to those people?
To watch the movie first.
Either that or just shut up.
Yeah.
Well, shut up would be a nice answer, but can't always get them to do that.
Well, no.
Too, if it's a difference of them saying that the movie's shit or they don't like the idea of what they've done there, you know. You know, I've expressed before my concern with The Little Mermaid. I haven't seen the movie. I just don't like what Disney did there. It's confusing, you know. So it's kind of, but I wouldn't run all over the internet and say that it's a shit movie, you know. I myself don't like it, and it's confusing to a 5-year-old. So, but yeah, I think you should give something a chance before you just totally ream it.
Yeah, what she said.
Yeah. And that's like me with Life of Brian. I haven't seen that just because I know what it's about. I probably wouldn't like that. You know? So, but I'm not going to tell somebody it's a shit movie because they made something like that, you know. But I'm sure a lot of people did.
Oh, there were protests all over the place for that one.
I'm sure. Like Jesus Christ Superstar.
There are protests all over the place for Kevin Smith's Dogma, too.
Yeah.
Mostly people who hadn't seen it.
Which was stupid, yeah. It wasn't like a great movie, but that was a good movie.
Oh, God. Hearing that reminds me of him telling the story about those protests.
But him joining the protests? Yeah.
Him joining the protests, yes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people have asked him to either like redo the movie or re-release that movie, and he can't, which is sad because he did that one with Harvey Weinstein, and he's like, nope, I am not giving that man any more money.
Right.
Yep.
Which is sad because, like I said, it's a really good movie, you know. Had Alanis Morissette in it. What more could you ask for?
Oh, man.
Let's go ahead and get into this week's discussion. It is that time again. It's a casting call time. If you're new to the podcast, what we do is every once in a while, it's actually every other month, I will post something in our Discord I come up with like a scenario of like a TV show or a movie or whatever, and at a certain time, and put together a list where we can kind of do a cast. We've, like I said, we've done movies, we've done TV shows, and they've been anywhere from hell. We did a movie serial of Raiders of the Lost Ark back in 39 or 40 something, something like that. So for this one, we are doing a syndicated series in 1995, starring DC Comics' own magician, Zatanna.
I always called her Zatanna.
Well, Zatanna, whatever.
Tomato,
In my head.
Tomato.
Yeah.
Call him Mert.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, yeah, Mert, how's every little thing?
Do I have to talk like her and talk backwards?
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Absolutely. Good luck.
That should be fun.
Mm.
So, with that set up, let's go ahead and start casting our show. Who would like to go first?
I'll kick us off.
She's about ready to pick something.
I actually had to do my list twice. I got through with my list, and then I saw it was 1995, so it was like, fuck.
So you had to erase all the Jensen.
Right.
You cast
Jensen
for
would have been
everything.
okay for some of this, But no, he's not on my list. I had to go a little younger, or for I guess older. Yeah.
Whenever.
Right. So I kind of rushed to put my list together because I did do it wrong to begin with. But I went back to, since it's going to be syndicated, I was thinking you probably don't want to use movie stars for this. You want to use like television stars. So that's kind of where I pulled my list from, was what was popular and who was popular at the time for TV.
Right.
My Zatanna was actually a superhero in her own right, and I went with my favorite actress, Miss Lucy Lawless. I thought she'd be kind of kick-ass, but still had the nice feminine frame, that could still kick ass. But I originally had planned on having Kristen Ritter in this role. But she was like 14 at the time.
That old, wow.
So,
I'm impressed.
yeah. Kind of had to restructure that one. But don't you think she'd be perfect?
Well, given
Just
that
that
she
little-
was Jessica Jones, I mean, yeah. I mean,
Yeah. Little
Yeah,
dynamite package,
mm,
But yeah, I thought Lucy Lawless would be a good substitute.
absolutely. Her picture popped up a few times when I was looking through stuff for this.
Very popular in 95.
Also very busy, but
Yeah.
yeah.
She would have had to cut Zine out for this.
Right. And I don't know.
That little show.
The whole reason you picked her and all, yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Yep, I mean, it's hard to deny. It's hard to say, no, she would suck.
Yeah.
Because she wouldn't. She's awesome.
Yeah. She's killed everything she's been in.
Like I said, I saw her picture when I was looking for this stuff, and I was like, I need someone who's not Lucy Lawless, but could like play her on TV. And I wanted somebody who I knew could do the serious and the funny, because why the hell not?
Right.
And so I picked Daphne Zuniga.
Okay.
Well, I like her. Yeah,
That definitely works.
that does. I like that.
All right, Les, you want to go next?
Well, let's see. There were so many ways to go on this. Let me double check what I've got listed here.
Les trying to read his own handwriting again.
That's right.
So I typed my
I went
notes
with
down.
Alexandra Paul
Ooh,
from.
straight to Baywatch. All right.
Well, I was thinking more. I remember her more for American Flyers.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Never saw it, so Baywatch it is. Gotcha.
Okay.
No, I'm kidding.
Gotcha.
No, yeah,
Well,
that's cool.
And Christine.
Well, for me, I don't know. There was a couple that I looked at, but I kept going back to one because I guess because I would really love to see her do this. I went with Jennifer Connelly.
She'd be another good one for sure.
Mm,
Yes.
another one's hard
I
to go
agree.
wrong with.
The Horse Whisperer, yeah.
She made my list a little further down, but yeah.
Ah.
Cool.
Dun, dun, dun.
Cool.
Okay. All right, next.
Next one is Ralph Dibny, or the Elongated Man. What is the difference between him and Plastic Man?
They didn't know they had the rights to Plastic Man. That's so they created the Elongated Man to replace him,
Okay.
And then acquired
and then pick up the rights
Plastic
to
Man.
Plastic Man.
Okay. Cool. I did not know that. For him, I went with Brian Krause, who played Leo on Charmed. I think the guy that they got to do him in Flash was perfect, and Leo Brian kind of looks like him. So
Didn't he also do something on Buffy? Or am I
I
thinking of
think
the
he
wrong
did.
guy?
I think he did.
I don't think it was like a big role or anything, but the name sounds
Like
familiar, and I think I saw
a couple of episodes or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
some sort of-
But I don't think he was a good guy on there.
probably not.
That would be a good bet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool, though. Yeah, that's cool. I did not go with Brian Krause on this. I'm not going to do that every time. I swear.
Aw.
I went with someone who I actually think might be a little bit young for the role, but I don't care because he's awesome. And I think it would be a lot of fun to see him in a role like this where he could be just as goofy as he wanted to be, but he could also turn on the serious. I chose Neil Patrick Harris.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. He's good in everything he does. So.
Right.
He's been good. He's been bad. In between.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. Yeah.
I do too. For me, I was thinking of Edward Norton,
Yeah.
but I've decided to go with somebody that, to me, fits the physical, and that is Ryan Stiles. I just feel like Ralph is comedic, and Stiles is that immediately. So that's where I went.
That would be fun.
He would be. Well, and he's always so animated with his arms and stuff anyways that he's kind of been playing this anyway.
Yeah, I really try to stay away from the goofiness like Plastic Man. But I kept kind of going back that way. I mean, Jim Carrey kept popping in my head. I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that.
Yeah, Jim Carrey would be a stretch in this role. Somebody had to say it.
Yeah.
No one had.
But I wanted to make another one who gets in a part and makes it him.
Mm-hmm.
But I definitely wanted someone who could handle the detective side of the character too. So I actually went with a co-star of Jim Carrey. I went with Jeff Daniels.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Nice choice.
Cool.
I liked it.
He's pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Next
one we have is Sue Dibney. This one I almost cast as my lead, but during this time she wasn't very good at being lead. But with her current passing, I thought it was only proper to leave her on my list, and I picked Shannon Doherty.
Okay.
Interesting.
Rest in peace.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Interesting choice.
Yeah, definitely.
And she's another one who's kind of played a variety. Especially, she was pretty hot in the 90s as far as her acting goes.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty, Mikey.
Okay. Yeah, I wanted to get someone who could play off of, because I mean, yeah, I agree that there's kind of the two sides to Ralph, and I wanted someone who could kind of play it right alongside whoever plays Ralph. So I chose Maura Tierney.
Okay.
Because she's done the comedy and the serious, and she's pretty good at both, really.
Yeah.
That's a good choice. Yep.
She is.
Okay. Last.
I'm going to go with a name that was previously mentioned, and that's Jennifer Connelly.
Da-da-da.
Yeah. I like it.
Cool.
I enjoyed her so much in, what was the comedy with Frank? Let's see. Career Opportunities.
Yeah.
That to me was a very fine comedic role for her.
Cool.
Yeah,
I like
definitely. Yep.
Yep.
Mine may be a little bit out there, but I mean, she's well known for comedic, but she's done drama, a little drama, and I think she would play off my Ralph pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
Laurie Metcalf.
Okay. Roseanne's sister.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I think she would. Yeah.
She's done a bunch of other stuff too, and yeah, she's pretty good.
Yeah.
Sheldon's mom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Young Sheldon. Yep. I'd watch that.
Yep.
Alrighty. Next.
All right. Next we have Jason Blood, who was a demon superhero. I'm familiar with some of the other ones, and I think the only way I've seen this one was when they used him in Flash. during the whole elongated man thing. But I don't know a lot about this character. So I'm thinking a demon has to have a lot of tricks up his sleeves. You need a pretty crafty guy. So I went with no other than Richard Dean Anderson. Definitely got a few tricks up his sleeves.
Oh, MacGyver the Demon. That's
Yeah.
great.
Well, he was also Killian in Fallout, so he's kind of diverse,
That's great.
How you want to go?
That would be fun. That would be fun. I admit this is one I cheated a bit on. Partly out of laziness, but also partly because the person I picked kind of has not only did this, but also did other stuff similar to it really well. I'm going with Billy Zane.
Okay, yeah.
Well, I like him too.
Because
The Phantom?
Crazy eyes.
I believe he did it on the somewhere animated. I believe he played Etrigan.
Probably Justice League
Just
Unlimited.
probably Justice League Unlimited. But I also think that if you put him in the makeup, he would look good in the role.
Yeah.
So
he's got those crazy eyes, so he could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got the whole crazy look to him.
Mm-hmm.
When he wants to. So yeah, I thought it would be fun.
I like
choice.
That. Yeah.
Okay, Les?
For this, I figured that my choice would be able to handle the spells and everything that Etrigan would pronounce. And that was Anthony Hopkins, just for fun.
There you go.
Damn.
Yeah.
Somebody pulling out the budget stops.
Yep.
Oh, hell yeah.
But he's another one. He could act the phone book,
Absolutely.
Yep.
Or the joy of cooking, depending on how you do it.
Now that was cross.
Well, for me, he could definitely do Jason Blood, but I would cast him just to hear him do the rhymes of Etrigan. I think it would be awesome, and I love his voice. I seem like I cast him all the time. Keith David.
Oh, we all cast him all the time because he's awesome.
He is. Yeah.
And yeah, he would be another one that would be great for this. For sure.
I like it.
Alrighty. Next.
Okay. The next one we have is Felix Faust.
Faust.
Okay. And he is an evil sorcerer. Kind of weird I picked the guy I did because he actually is playing a really good guy right now. And I hope to God I don't totally butcher his name, but I went with Hamash Linklater, who is doing the voice of Batman.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah. But he's done a lot of movies and stuff too, but yeah.
All right. Yeah. Mikey.
So I went with someone for Faust who, for this crowd especially, is a little more of a familiar face. But I thought, and when I started looking stuff, and I'm looking at some of the artist images of Felix Faust, and I'm like, you know who that looks like? That looks like Ted Raimi.
Ooh.
So I was like, screw it, let's do Ted Raimi.
Okay, that works.
Interesting.
Nice. Okay. Les?
Well, since we're going full budget here,
Uh-oh.
I figured that the choice would be Jeff Bridges.
Okay.
That's interesting.
Mid-90s
Yeah.
Jeff Bridges?
Yeah.
All right.
That's,
I'm down.
Yeah.
I'll watch that.
that's like before Dude, wasn't it? Yeah. That'd be before he
Yeah,
was the Dude.
Yeah, that was what, 97 or something?
Yeah.
Somewhere in
90,
like 90s.
98.
Yeah.
Yep. I like it.
I picked someone who I thought could chew up the scenery, but could also really play it straight and evil and all that. It would be a blast to watch. Matt Frewer.
Ooh. Okay. I like that.
Hmm.
I like that.
Matt Brewer.
Huh?
Brewer?
That
Frewer.
With an
Frewer.
F.
Oh.
F. Frewer.
Max Headroom.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
God, I bet he loves
I
being
see.
compared to that role every day of his life.
I'm sure.
Yeah. Matt Brewer plays like a lot of stoner parts. That's why I was like, huh? What? I like that.
I do too.
Okay. Next.
Next, we have Clarion the Witch Boy, right? Clarion?
Yep.
Okay. He's powerful but mischievous. I didn't know. Apparently, he's a kid because they wouldn't be calling him a boy if he wasn't a kid. So, in the 90s, yeah. Quite a few came to mind, but the one who kept sticking out to me was Ryder Strong. So I went with him. This would be before his Boy Meets World stuff.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Cool. Well,
All right.
I decided to go. Because this was the era of people in their mid-20s playing teenagers.
Yep.
Yeah.
I chose someone in their mid-20s to play a teenager. And I sort of fudged a bit because I chose someone who we all know and love. Because I chose Nicholas Brendan for this.
Ooh. Okay.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I figured if he wouldn't do it, we would get Kelly Donovan to do it.
Okay.
And points to anyone who knows why. Because I discovered this the other day when I was looking this up.
And the points go to who?
Apparently nobody, because Kelly Donovan is Nicholas Brendan's twin brother.
Ba-dum-bumps. I had
Unbeknownst
forgotten
to
his
the
name.
rest of us.
Right. That, like I said, points to anyone who knows, because
Yeah.
I
had
didn't
forgotten
know
his
before
name.
this. Yeah.
Yeah. I knew he had a twin brother, but I didn't remember what his name was.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
I
They
didn't
used his twin
either.
brother in the episode
Mm-hmm.
where they split him in two. Yeah.
Yep. He was actually on Buffy
Yeah.
in one episode.
Wow. I just pulled up a picture of him
Looks
and
just
his
like him.
brother.
Yeah.
Like they were twins.
Yeah. I mean,
Go
well,
figure.
Now I'm just being an
sometimes
asshole.
with twins, especially when they get older, you can always
You
go,
can tell
oh,
the
okay,
difference, right.
you can, but these two, oh,
Mm-mm.
wow,
Yeah. It's pretty spot on.
that is. Huh.
And they could ride to work together.
They could.
Yeah. One of them does have a dorkier smile, but other than that, they're like spitting image.
Mm-hmm. Then this actually would have been pre-Buffy, so.
Ah. So which one was in Buffy? Now that I'm looking at them, I'm like, which one was it?
Nicholas was in the group.
Nicholas was in, yeah. Nicholas
Okay.
was in there, yeah.
The answer is yes.
Yes.
Technically, yes, but
Yeah.
the one who was in more often was Nick.
Cool.
Alrighty. Les.
I went the same route, trying to find someone a little older to play the role. And I thought maybe Lance Guest could play the role
Okay.
from Starfighter, last
yeah.
Starfighter.
Yeah,
Yep.
Yeah.
I could see that.
Yep.
Cool.
I like it.
I went with someone who only a couple years earlier was in a very, very popular, successful movie where he was, his character was very important for the future of society. I went with Edward Furlong.
Okay.
Cool.
John Carter.
Yeah.
John Connor.
John Connor.
Connor.
John Carter was a different movie.
Yes.
I like that. I forgot about him.
Cool.
Very nice.
Okay. And
All right. Last one we have is Dr. Light. And I don't know. Was there two different people who played Dr. Light?
Yes.
yes.
Okay. I went with the girl. Not with Arthur. I went with Kimio.
Yeah.
And actually, looking at her and everything else, the one person that kept sticking in my head was Lucy Liu.
Shit.
So, I know, right? I mean, I looked at other ones and I just kept going right back to her because it was like she could do it. She was an angel. She's got the figure. I mean,
She's a
spitting
hottie.
image. She is.
I wouldn't.
So
I don't know if I would go spit an image. Well, and yeah, but I picked her.
Yeah.
I was like, I was actually going to lead this off with this is another cheater for me because we didn't get the female Dr. Light until the New 52, right? It was later, whatever it was. It was after 1995. I'm pretty sure. I didn't double check, but I should have. But I think it was later.
Yeah, it's later, I know that.
But I did it
when,
anyway.
I'm not sure.
Yeah. It was one of those big
She
events.
came first on Crisis on Infinite Earths in July of 1985.
Oh, okay. Damn. I had that up totally wrong. I mean, I'm not backing off anyway. I've still picked Lucy
Right.
Liu.
Yep.
And clearly I'm right because Liz picked her too.
Yep. You're right. That's good. That was awesome,
Yeah,
Joy.
Wow.
Alrighty, Les.
I went with the evil Dr. Light
Okay.
because that's where I first met him was against the Justice League. And I just thought, this guy can do TV because he did series on Showtime. It's Kevin Spacey.
Okay.
Yep. I almost used him on my list too. He was another one that was a pretty hot actor in the 90s, you know?
Oh, yeah.
He
He
could
was.
do anything.
A little less so now, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's cool. We're picking this in the 90s, so it doesn't matter.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
For my choice, yes, I did go with evil. And I went with someone who is a veteran of TV. And at this point, he was kind of making a name for his drama side. If I remember my timeline here correctly, Robin Williams.
Ah,
Yeah.
got
Yep.
another one that is hard to go wrong with.
He did do, what was it, 1 hour photo?
Yeah.
Yes.
I was
That was
thinking that was, yeah. I
the
was thinking it was around
creepiest
this
thing
time.
I've ever seen him in.
Oh no, Toys is pretty creepy.
Yeah.
Oh God, please don't bring up toys.
I don't.
Which is
I-
worse, that or the toy?
Oh.
Oh wow.
I don't think I can choose.
I liked the toy.
They're both pretty bad.
Yeah.
To be honest, I probably liked Toys better. Mostly because
Toys
it
was
was
kinda
trying to
weird.
be weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was trying. It was what it said it was, which was weird. The toy was just awful.
But 1 hour photo, wasn't that the first time he had played, like,
A psycho?
yeah,
Psycho?
Pretty
Yeah.
much, yeah.
yeah. I think it turned a lot of people off to the film, but I thought he did brilliant, and the movie was kind of weird, but it was like, with the times, it was the normal weird, you know? So, yeah, that one was good. I could see him being evil. And he was also supposed to play the Riddler before they cast Carrie.
Well,
I can't remember why they went a different way on that.
supposedly they were looking at him playing Joker, but I don't know how factual that is. That may have been, they may have looked at him just as a ploy to convince Nicholson to sign,
Yeah,
which I could see them doing that.
yeah. I don't think he would have made a good Joker. I can kind of see the Riddler because the Riddler was kind of squirrely, which Robin Williams was so good at playing, you know? But the Joker was a little bit more of a serious ha-ha instead of, you know.
Well, yeah, if they went the Gorshin route, but I mean, if they did the version that was like an animated series,
Yeah. Or Caesar, what I forget his last name. Romero. There you go.
well, I'm talking about for Riddler.
Oh,
For
yeah.
Robin Williams playing Riddler is more like the animated version,
Yeah.
animated series version. So he's not really just this goofball that's bouncing off the walls and all that. That he's actually a highly intelligent a threat.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Someone that should be taken seriously.
Like the Batman's Riddler. I'm excited to see him in this second movie.
Cool.
Yep. I like it.
Okay. Anybody cast any other characters? Les?
Yeah, I did. I decided to cast Zatanna,
Okay.
Zatanna's father.
Okay.
And I would suspect it's going to be a one-shot for him. But I went with Jeremy Irons.
Ooh. I like him.
I do too.
Kind of hard to go wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But that was it for me.
I like that.
Cool.
Awesome. All right. Hope you enjoyed this. If you have your if you have some casting picks, we definitely would love to hear what y'all think. So definitely send them our way. You email us or join our Discord. And you post them there or whatever. We would love to hear them.
We would.
Yep.
Please.
And on that note, we are going to take a quick break and be back with geek news for you. And we're back. It's time for geek news for you. In this segment, we bring a couple of news items to the table for discussion. This week, it's Liz and myself. And Liz, would you like to go first, please?
Sure. I actually have some Jensen news. Yay!
Of course you do.
Who'd have thunk it?
Right? I told you guys that he did the guest appearance in Tracker, which, like I said, him and Justin Hartley could absolutely be real life brothers. They just look so much alike. But I did watch a lot of the first season to catch up to his one episode that he did. So people have been asking if he was going to come back for the second season. Originally, there were no plans to bring him back. It was kind of like a storyline they were doing, and it was going to be a one and done. Well,
But after your
surprise,
exhaustive letter
surprise.
writing campaign,
Right.
Really? All the harassment.
Apparently ratings were so good on the one episode that he did that they're going to bring him back for season 2. And they said that it will definitely be for more than one episode, that they're going to get into that storyline a little bit more and kind of explore it a little bit. So we will get to see him on Tracker 2 or season 2, which, he's doing this. He's also doing season 5 of The Boys, and Amazon just gave him his own series over there. So he's very, 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 very busy guy right now. I'm kind of excited,
Cool.
Yep, he's too busy. He can't do Batman. There you go.
No, see, and that's the thing. If he was offered Batman, he'd drop everything. That's how bad he has wanted to play Batman and for how long, And with them dragging their heels on this new Superman and everything else, it may be a while before we get Batman. And we may be, Boys may be over. And
What do you mean dragging on the Superman?
Well, how long has James Gunn been in office over there?
The movie comes out next year.
Yeah, but he's already been over there for, 2? So it's taken him 3 years.
To plan a movie and have it written and go through production and go through all of that? Yeah.
I feel like when he first came over, everybody was talking about it, maybe because it was the first thing he announced, but I just feel like we've been talking about it for so long, and then they put out pictures, and people aren't happy about his outfit, so James Gunn's like, okay, we're going to kind of tweak some things. It's like, just put the movie out. Who cares if they like his underwear or not? He's not Jensen.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah? That's what you have to say is yeah?
Part of the problem is that half of the shit that we've been talking about with involving Superman didn't have anything to do with James Gunn in the first place.
Yeah.
So that's why it seems longer, is because it's all this other extraneous crap.
Maybe so. Or maybe because we have to wait for this to get over with before we get anything else. So, and I'm also very excited for him to get Superman out, because he said after Superman was done, he was going to start filming the second season of Peacemaker, which we have waited years for. So it's kind of like, I don't understand why like Amazon and people do this. If you have a series and it is hot and your ratings are high and people are tuning in the day it comes out to watch, keep going. Don't make these same people wait 2 years for a new season. You're going to lose half your viewers at that point. This is a very wham bam generation. You know, that people aren't waiting around for a new season of Invincible. I mean, it's insane. Why? I don't understand why they do that.
I don't think Amazon has that much control over it, to be honest. I think they're waiting for creators to create.
Yeah, if you're throwing millions of dollars at somebody, come on, light some of it on fire under their ass. And see, and that's me. I don't mind giving you a big budget, but we need to have this out. You know, if this was network television, it never would have worked. Never.
No, it wouldn't have.
And
Absolutely
people
not.
are like, oh, it can't be done. It can, and it has been done, you know. And now we're talking about TV shows that have like anywhere from 8 to 12 episodes. Network television was anywhere from 20 to 25 episodes a season. So it's like it can be done, you know.
It can be done, but it's a different process.
It should
And I
be,
think
though.
they're trying, yeah, but it almost has to be because, like I said, they're trying to give the creators a little more free reign. Well, the problem with that is that if creators drag their feet or if creators get super busy doing 53 other things or
Yeah.
something like that, then delays happen and things don't just jump right out. You don't start again in September when you stopped in May. That's just straight up not how it works anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, that mold is broken and we're not going back to it. So the only way you can make that happen is you've got a writer's room and you've got multiple people pushing things through and going in different directions, and you've got a lot of other stuff, and what you end up with 24 episodes, and
Yes.
half of them don't make sense to a story, and
Right.
that's not where anybody wants to go
Well,
anymore.
Look at The Mandalorian. How many producers does that show have? And it's like, but yet it still takes. God, when was the last season of Mandalorian? You know, and every time it's longer and longer and longer in between it, and it's like, okay, you have a great show, you have great ratings, everybody loves Grogu. Keep it going. Oh, but no, we're going to give you the Book of Boba Fett. Oh, but no, we're going to give you this. No, we're going to give you this. And no, we're going to give you, Acolyte. Oh, but now we'll give you an episode of The Mandalorian. Well, no, we don't want all this other shit. Play the one that's making you money. Play the one that everybody's watching. Why separate your budget and your time with maybes when you have a hit on your hands?
Because, again, you have to deal with different creators doing different things. Because you can't just nail somebody down to a desk and make them create 32 episodes of something. It's not an assembly line anymore. That's not how art works these days. 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago, it was an assembly line. Straight up.
Yeah.
That's what they did. They had 15 writers working on this show, and they had 6 different directors, and they had who knows how many people coming up with different storylines.
Yep.
And honestly,
with a
sometimes
third of the budget.
There weren't even that many storylines, and they weren't worrying about that. Sometimes it was just a monster of the week, and it didn't make any difference. Yep. And that's not the stories that sell anymore. That's not where the process has led them. It has led them to a creator creates something, and if it's a big hit, great. Well, unfortunately we have a bunch of money sitting here waiting to go, but we have to wait for the creator to be ready to do it again.
Yeah.
And they don't always consult Liz when it's time to figure out when to do it again.
Well, they should.
Well,
That's
maybe they should.
Problem.
Well, and if you're the one handing them $15 million, then go for it. But something tells me that's not really going to happen.
Making more money than that. They were talking, what, Mandalorian's like $80 million? Okay, and then you look at a show, I hate to bring it up, but we are talking about Jensen. Then you look at a show like Supernatural, who was working on a third of that budget and still managed to get it done. But he had a story. He had a complete story. This is what I'm going to do from beginning to end. And when Mandalorian started, John Favreau, that's what he had said. I have a story. Every time the season ends, the next season has already been wrote. Okay, then why is it taking you 20 years to get it on the show? I mean, the same thing with Kirkman, Invincible. It's already been wrote, dude. It's a fucking comic book. What do you mean you have to create it? I mean, it's already been wrote for you, you know. You just have to animate it now, which, don't get me wrong, I know that's a lot of work. It takes a lot of time to do that. But once again, we have The Simpsons, who's on network TV with a third of the budget, who does it season after season after season and never misses a beat. So it can be
I think
done.
you might be surprised at how few episodes a season of The Simpsons is these days. Way less than it used to be.
But still, every season, there's no, we're going to take a 2-year break so we can animate Krusty the Clown. You know, it's a normal break. They come back. Matter of fact, they come back twice, one for the summer season and then for fall season. So it's kind of like it can be done. But I think you give these people this money, they wind up getting a really big head, and then it's kind of like, I don't feel like working today. I think I'm going to go do this instead. No, get your ass to work and do your job. It's not that hard.
Oh, God.
Instead, you give him all this free time and too much leeway, and now he's out here doing 20 projects.
I tried, guys.
Well,
I tried.
I know.
But yeah, to me, if you're in the business to make money, why are you running half your viewers off every time? Because me, I'll go back and I'll rewatch and stick around, but I'm a glutton for punishment.
Well, remember now, a producer is the man that gets money. That's his job, is to get money to make these things.
Yeah.
That's why you'll see actors list themselves as a producer in something. Just like Only Murders in the Building.
Mm-hmm.
All three of the major actors are producers. So they have to go out and they have to beg for the money.
Well, and for them it's actually easier because their names will bring in money.
Well,
Right.
true.
So
But
that's why they can get away with it. But yeah,
People willing
but
to
you're not
pay
wrong.
But some of these people have got Disney and Amazon, so they don't really have to go out and beg for money. Disney's begging them to do the project. We've got $180 million we'll give you. So it's not like they have to go out and, they may have to market it later. But most of these shows, Amazon's already paid for Invincible. They're ready to go. Get it on here.
But
then
as
you
an
have
as an example for the Simpsons,
mm-hmm.
they submit 2 years of episodes. 2 years.
Yeah.
So while they're working now, they're probably working on 25.
Yeah.
And they also have
26.
2026 there
Mm-hmm.
to get illustrated. So the job market for The Simpsons is not that big here. It's done in Japan. So they have to write and get it ready for animation. And then they have, of course, voices, they have sound effects, they have all other things, including little figures that they want to sell. So that's, even tougher than it is to put out Mandalorian.
Yep. Where Disney's handling all the toys and, you do the show.
Well, I just feel like you need to give them space, give them time for this, because look how long it took to get Axel, the fourth Beverly Hills Cop movie.
Yeah. My only problem is some of the time, I won't say all of the time, but some of the time, when you give them this time, they wind up changing everything. Mandalorian today is not the story we started watching to begin with. They went off on this tangent with Bo-Katan so they could pump the next movie that's supposed to come out. And it's kind of like, wait a minute, that's not what this was about, It was supposed to be about Djinn and Grogu, but instead, like I said, they had to change that whole storyline up because now they want to do a movie with Jedis and Bo-Katan, and we've got to set her up. Why? Why did you have to set her up in Mandalorian, where you're retelling a completely different story about a person who happened to be a Mandalorian and Grogu? That should have been the story. That was supposed to be the story, But we gave them time, and the powers that be at Disney was like, we could make a movie out of this, or, we could spin off something from this, and that's what they did. And they wound up changing the whole show. So I don't mind giving them time to do their work, but sometimes how much is too much time? Invincible was 2.5 years between season 1 and 2? To me, that's crazy. That's insane,
You want to make it as perfect a product as you can.
Yeah.
So
I get that.
if they toss something out there that the public does not like, then they're going to get belted, and when they get belted, that means money does not come their direction.
Yeah. Well, why did they put the brakes on Mandalorian and pump out, Boba Fett?
Somebody else is creating it.
Well, it was some of the same producers. So it's
Doesn't
like, why
matter.
did you take
Producers
them
are not
off
creating
of
anything. Producers are working in the background. They're behind the scenes people. They're not creating anything.
But when you're using them for your side projects, you're taking them off your main project, which is where your main viewers were coming from. I didn't care to see.
Which isn't moving forward anyway because it's still waiting for the creator. Who's doing something else right now.
Yeah,
you don't like
I don't
it.
know.
You don't have the patience for it because you don't like it.
You shouldn't slow your heels and your roll down to make the money,
They're still making the money either way, so what difference does it make?
It depends.
You just don't like it, that's all.
The numbers for Invincible were not the same as the first season.
Well, and according to you, the show wasn't as good either, so that might also be related.
So see, what did I wait 2 years for?
Something you weren't going to like. Right. Well,
it was supposed to be as good.
And they weren't making it for you anyway, so there you go. They were making it for the money, which they got. So it's all good.
Half the money.
Whatever.
That they would have gotten, though. But yeah.
That's the gamble they take with all of this. And it's the gamble you take with watching it. And now you're just getting fussy because you don't like the gamble anymore.
Watch it again. Yeah.
That's a thought.
I don't.
It's a thought.
Yeah.
All right. My article is this is kind of a surprise move, but I'm excited if this is actually going to go through. Apparently, Marvel Studios is talking to the Russo brothers about coming back to do Avengers 5 and 6. I mean, they had already expressed an interest in doing the Secret Wars film, which is supposedly Avengers 6, but they supposedly walked off and were going to do something else, but apparently things have changed, so we shall see.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I would be happy to see them back, as they, with Infinity War and Endgame, and of course they did Winter Soldier, and I believe they did Civil War too.
I think they did.
They're good. I would love to see them back.
Well, they're a big part of the big success the MCU had in the first 4 phases.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what he just said.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, that's pretty cool.
Did you see what Marvel is doing for Deadpool Wolverine? They are including Lady Deadpool, played by Ryan Reynolds' wife.
Yeah.
Yep.
And why are they doing that? To get her own movie.
Huh.
Maybe.
Well,
hopefully them working together will do better than it did in Green Lantern. But anyway.
Yeah.
Well,
I've read an article about the first Deadpool. Ryan Reynolds gave up his salary to bring the writers on the set because they told him that they didn't have the budget for that. So he was like, no, this ain't happening without them. So he gave up his salary for the film to bring them in to make sure it was done right and everything else. So he's one of those ones that he's put his own money into it. That's how firmly he believes in this. So I could see him bringing his wife in. And they're so funny together. That's like couple goals.
if you go to YouTube and watch him in interviews and he talks about his wife, it is hysterical.
Yeah.
And she takes it.
She does. She dishes it out.
She enjoys every minute of it.
Yeah. He posted a picture. It was like him and her together, but he cropped her out of the picture, but just enough where you could tell she was on the other side. He was like, I just want to say happy birthday to my wonderful wife. But yeah, they are hilarious together. I hope they bring that chemistry to the set. And like you said, I hope it's better than Green Lantern. But I see Deadpool being more of his character. So I think he'll make it work. And did you guys see the new Xbox controller that they're doing for Deadpool? It's got a butt on the backside of it. So when you're holding your controller, you're basically holding his butt.
I'm sorry, Mike.
Nice.
I heard it was Jensen Ackles' butt, but
I would buy 2.
All righty.
2, huh?
Any special shout-outs or mentions this week?
No, I think we've shouted enough in this one.
Yeah.
I have
not
one
enough.
Okay.
that is going to show up on the Discord, and that's the new series from Prime. Amazon Prime is going to start showing a Batman series, and it is Batman Cape Crusader. This is a new series that will start in August. August 1st is the first episode on Prime. And it looks pretty interesting. It is an animated series. And Bruce Timm is involved. as well as JJ. So we'll see what goes on.
And it looks like when they drop it, they're going to drop 10 episodes to begin with.
That's good to hear.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Cool.
Yep.
All
That
right.
one should be pretty good.
Any other shout-outs?
Nope.
Okay.
No.
That's it.
We'll move on to our regular shout-outs then. I want to thank Pop Goes the Culture for allowing us to be part of a great little podcast network. We recommend that you check them out. There will be a link in the show notes. We also want you to check out the fine men and women who are kind enough to spread the word of the fellowship by retweeting our links on Twitters or X, however you view it. And the best way to do that is to do a search, hashtag Modern Family, one word. And just scroll through the list, and whatever catches your eye, please click on that link and download the episode. I hope you have a good time listening to them. Want to thank Manny the Martyr for supplying the music to the podcast. In our show notes, you can check out some of their other work. Thank you guys as always. And finally, you, dear listener, thank you for downloading and listening to today's episode. We value your feedback. Any questions, comments, suggestions, complaints, observations, what have you, please send them our way. Email address is email@thefellowshipofthegeeks.net. Or you can go to the website, go to the About Us page, and there's a contact form you can fill out there. I did mention earlier that we do have a Discord. We do have an open invitation on our homepage. We do post a lot of news items, stuff for discussion, stuff to laugh at. We'll do activities and that kind of stuff on there as well. So come join us. Social media, we are on Facebook, The Fellowship of the Geeks. On Instagram and Twitter or X, we are at Fellowship Geeks. If you like to follow our personal accounts, Mike can be found at Mikey Geek. Liz can be found at LN_Geek. Les may or may not be found at Fake Les Webster. And I can be found at Tom TC Geek. And from wherever you download our episodes, if you'd be so kind as to rate and review the show, it would be greatly appreciated. Anything else before we say goodbye?
Just thanks, everybody.
Yeah, thanks, everybody.
Thank you for listening, everybody. We appreciate the support as always. And until next time, geek on, my friends.
We thank you for listening to the show. Comments, suggestions, and questions can be sent to email@thefellowshipofthegeeks.net. You can follow us on Facebook at The Fellowship of the Geeks and on Twitter at Fellowship Geeks. Until next time,